Alright, welcome to California's Excrement Employers 2, the sequel to the very popular original video, California's Excrement Employers. In today's video, we're going to show off multiple places I applied to and tell you the current process relating to our application status. Let's begin. So on February 11th, coincidentally the same day I produced California's Excrement Employers 1, I applied to multiple Jack-in-the-Boxes, as you can see on the screen. Let's count how many are on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And would you like to guess from how many of those I have heard back from in the now almost an entire month since I filled those applications out? 0. Can you tell I'm shocked? But in all seriousness, the reason that this should be kind of disturbing is that each of these is considered a different job, which is why you have to apply to each one individually. So that's basically 14 places that are in my vicinity, even if it's all from the same company, all saying, screw you. But again, just let that sink in. 14 different locations for this particular company that I applied to. Not a single one has been bothered as much as to say, hey, we'd like to speak to you. Just nothing. Complete radio silence, deafening silence. And that's why I hate these places so much. Anyways, let's continue. So after doing 14 places, which is literally an application a day for 2 weeks, I was pretty not optimistic and kind of burnt out from just the feeling of, being tired of things staying the same way over and over again. But after a 2-week break, I came back and I did the Landry's HR one that you see down there. The Compass group, which is, they wanted me to do some video interview thing, and, I was kind of weirded out by that, so I don't even think that would have mattered anyway. But again, I'm just being negative. It's not like I have over 30 applications I can show you of me giving, my time to fill the thing out and nothing happening from it, other than them saying no thank you without even meeting me. So that same day, because I told you oftentimes I'll do a bunch of these at once, where it's like I'll get a cooling off period, and then I'll do a whole bunch of them together. You see the Great American Chicken Corp, which is KFC. When I did the other video, I forgot what it was. You have South Bay Corporation, which I think is Subway. No, it's not Subway, because you see Subway up there. It's some other place. It's like Starbucks or one of those things. But you got Subway. You got the Home Depot, the Snag-a-Job one you see up there next to the Home Depot recruiting, which has a 3 by it. One of those is the same thing. So I'm saying that these two at the top are basically kind of the same. How do I explain this? When you see those top two, just know that it's 3 places, because it was 3 from Home Depot's website that I filled out, and they're notifying me about one of the 3. So that was the lot position. So in this particular screenshot, you see 3 Home Depot applications, 1 South Bay, 1 American Chicken Corp, 1 Compass Group, and 1 Landry's, which brings our total to 7 from this particular screenshot. A couple of days ago, I filled out another Subway and filled out some as well at the Sunrise Senior Living, and also for the retail customer service at FedEx. So that's 3. Now, if you count the 25 that are on the screen, or rather that we've displayed throughout the video with the 28 from the first one, that's 53. 53 applications that have either gone completely unremarked on by the places that I filled them out to, or have had the places respond by saying we're not interested. Again, the purpose of doing these is to show you that when people are not able to get employment, a lot of times we say it's because they're lazy. When we don't see people working somewhere, we look down on them and we say, oh, they must have just decided to, not bother with anything. And I've had people recently over the last year or so who have basically come to that same conclusion. And they really disgust me because I expect strangers online, strangers in real life, to draw those kind of conclusions and not do the most basic of research, which is as simple as asking me directly, have you applied for anything? What I don't expect is for people who claim to be related to me, people who claim to be friends with me, to draw these conclusions, people who claim to give an ounce of a damn about me, to come to these conclusions without so much as asking what I would think is a fair and basic question. Have you applied anywhere? To which I could literally now show them 53 applications that I filled out as proof that I have. But this is my point, that people don't want the proof. They want to believe that we all get our just desserts in a way. So when you don't have a position, it's because you didn't try. You only maybe did a couple. But I ask, what number is there to be drawn from this? What number is enough for people to say, damn, that person really wanted to do this and these places just did not respond? Because when I started filling these out last year, admittedly, there were larger gaps where I was just like, all right, well, screw it, because they wouldn't respond. But because of the floor incident, which I've documented on here, I became a lot less willing to kind of let larger periods of time pass without me applying anywhere. And it seems just as fruitless. And, when we were talking about the chick stuff on here, you had people who would say that by not approaching any chicks, you were creating a self-fulfilling prophecy where you say you're not going to get with anyone, so when you don't approach, you don't get with anyone, and then it creates the situation you claimed was happening from when you would approach and large numbers of them would not show interest. And we've already talked about why that's stupid and how it doesn't make any sense when you consider what we've actually discussed on here. When you look at these places, right, and you have these people who will say to me, what does your application look like? Which, first of all, on most of these websites, they have you fill out an application. So the idea that I would have to make my own ahead of time just isn't the case. But when you have places that, menial positions, right? This isn't about being the CEO or the assistant manager or anything, just a regular 9-to-5 thing that pays a couple of dollars. And people are telling you about what things you need to have for this. It does create the self-fulfilling prophecy of these employers expecting people to have large swaths of experience for the most meaningless and trivial of positions, and then never hiring someone because they've set their expectations to be ridiculously high for what they consider for the position that they're trying to get someone to fulfill. That because they've temped their expectations to such a large extent, they are creating a system where no one can ever rake up the experience that they also desire. But I really would like people to just see this and know that, I believe in the strength of numbers. And when I quit the chick thing, it was because it's not a utility. You don't need that to survive. But these are people who are playing with my life, who, in the case of that one company, Jack in the Box, they received 14 applications from me. A full month has passed. Haven't heard a single thing back from any of them. And that's not remotely normal. That's not cool. It's not right. And I'm just so sick and tired of having, this accusation placed on me that I'm just not willing to look for stuff, when it's the people who are saying that aren't even willing to ask me, have you made any attempts? And when I get discouraged from, doing this continuously, it's because I have the experience of seeing a bunch of these places act the same, where they at worst don't say anything, and at best schedule an interview just for them to laugh in your face, and then a couple of days later announce over the phone that they're not interested. And all 53 of these places, of these applications, have all had the same result of either you hear nothing back or you get some kind of text-based response. So when that happens over and over again, which mainly is nothing because most places just don't say anything, it's why I have the negative view of the stuff that I do, because I am negative by experience. I've lived in this private hell of filling these things out for nothing